Not Nerd Podcast, episode 319, The Beard of Jafar.
Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello, howdy, and how you doing there, Mr. Nate?
Doing well. After I got done putting the show notes together, I let you know via iMessage that we have a fun show, fun lineup of stories. They just all kind of, most of them, they're not all as exciting, but a fun lineup to talk about today. So why don't we get into it?
Very good.
Yes, and most importantly, our first piece of follow-up. It's been a while since we've talked about this gem, but we do talk about YouTube all the time. Baby Shark by Pink Fong has passed 10 billion with the B views on YouTube as the number one most viewed YouTube video.
More than Rickroll, Never Gonna Give You Up?
Yeah, yes. Fun fact, it debuted in the year 2016 on my birthday, June 17th. I didn't even know that.
Wow, that's the model year of my car, 2016.
Yes. Yeah, so in that amount of time, it has gotten 10 billion views. Now, in the article, there was a link to a Wikipedia with the 30 highest viewed videos. You mentioned Rickroll, which I think Rickroll probably has multiple listings in multiple places, and the GIF is shared a lot and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. Any other guesses as to what would be near the top of videos? I will let you know they are mostly songs, it looks like.
Yeah, and there are people who just play the music over and over and over again.
Yeah, especially
watch the video.
Something like Baby Shark, kid stuff with a daughter. I can guarantee you, kids can watch the same video multiple times per day.
Yes. What is that with kids? I think it's all about discovery, and one is about discovery, and two is about having something you're familiar with.
Yeah,
and so I think they're familiar with it, and they can expect things, but then I think they discover new things too. Like, oh, I didn't notice that Jafar had a beard or whatever.
Yeah, as most kids do notice early on. I will say, before I have you guess, that looking at the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are kids items. Baby Shark at number 3 is Johnny Johnny Yes Papa, which we watched 10 billion times.
Never heard of it.
Bath Song by Coco Melon. Learning Colors, Colorful Eggs on a Farm. Masha and the Bear, Recipe for Disaster. We watched that one. Phonic Songs with 2 words from Choo Choo TV. That's probably one you watch quite a bit.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I've heard of that one. No, yes. I have not.
But any guesses on songs that might be in the multiple billion club here on YouTube? Michael
Jackson Thriller? No, because that was way too old. So it's going to be newer stuff. Let me think. I'll probably cut out 20 minutes of me thinking.
Yes.
Gangnam Style.
Yes, at number 11 with 4.31 billion views.
Yes, and you know what? That's all I got. That used all my synapses to produce that.
Nice. The number 2 YouTube video is Despacito by Luis Fonsi, which there is a very popular remake done with Justin Bieber, but this looks to be the original.
What does the video contain?
The song Despacito, and I'm sure.
Well, I know, but like, what do they
dancing around?
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. People always ask me that when I'm DJing. Oh, have you seen the video for this? I just don't watch music videos again. But
weird. I'm gonna have to check it out because Gangnam Style. It's him doing
that's a
weird
classic
stuff. Yeah.
Ed Sheeran's in there. Wiz Khalifa, Uptown Funk.
With
some Maroon 5, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, One Republic. So all this super pop stuff.
You know what's
Axel F by Crazy Frog. That one.
It's interesting that probably when MTV was around, it had less views combined than one of these songs that are on the internet. It's like the internet is a delivery mechanism like no other. Even in a TV network probably couldn't even compete with it.
Well, speaking of delivery systems like no other, I wanted to just bring up the fact that this week, I think the Wednesday when the show releases, the U.S. government is starting their program where you can register and have 4 at-home COVID-19 tests sent to you. Now, we talk all the time about Amazon and how amazing they are at fulfillment. I just wanted to bring up this story so we can keep an eye on it to see how the fulfillment goes with a government-created system. I believe the wording says that you can go on, you can place your free order, and then it'll ship within 7 to 12 days, and then it'll come to you via the post office. I'm just going to say that I will remind people we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this might not work as smoothly as Amazon does. Now, Amazon has their problems here and there, but I'm going to say that maybe the day that it launches, the website might crash. I'm going to say there might be some delays in delivery, but we will see. We will see. I am a doubter, but prove me wrong, government.
Yeah, I mean, we are the most non-partisan tech podcast on the internet, but I would say the difference lies purely on Amazon's motivation to make money.
Yes.
And the government's motivation to just serve people and spend money, not necessarily make money. Yes. So I think that's probably the difference there.
Yes. So we'll check back in on that. Netflix is raising their prices again. And this is interesting. I saw a little commentary. I don't know if it was mentioned in this article from The Verge, but inflation has been a hot topic, and you don't not the store at the mall, the hot topic. But with prices going up, they were talking about how this affects people if it's going up. The company's standard plan will raise to $15.50 per month from $14, so $1.50. So about a 10% price increase.
So I'm just confused because are they having to put in new servers? What's actually costing them more? Is it the electricity? Is it the bandwidth? My guess it has a lot to do with them spending literal billions of dollars on new product to display on their channel. But was there any in the article? Did it say anything to that effect of why?
No, I do not see anything in there.
Like, or their subscriber base going down? I doubt it. They probably have more subscribers now than they've ever had.
Yeah. So all the prices in the U.S. and I believe Canada as well are going up. But again, it's one of those things where I'm not going to cancel Netflix. There's a lot of good stuff on there, and even though I don't watch it all the time, and probably don't get my money's worth just because I have so many stinking streaming services, but you feel like you kind of got to have Netflix.
You know what's worth the price of admission on Netflix? Just got to say, Ozark with one of my favorite actors, Jason Bateman.
Yes, we were talking about that recently, and season 4 is coming out.
It is. The missus and I are going back through. I've seen all 3 seasons. She's watched none of it. So last night we concluded season 1.
Nice.
And she was hooked after the first episode.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is definitely not adult content. That has a negative connotation. It has mature themes.
Yes, mature themes.
But Jason Bateman, he's, and we were talking about, something. We were talking about the Netflix price increase. We were talking about some stuff before the show about, people making money. We're always talking about people making money. So Jason Bateman has a podcast with Will Arnett and Sean Hayes called Smart List that you and I were talking about last week.
Yeah, hilarious.
So you have 3 extremely successful actors that are not short on money that have a podcast that has a bunch of ads in it. Like...
And has millions of listeners.
Yeah. Do they need ads? Now, it's part of Wondery and Amazon's podcast ecosystem, so there's a lot of extra costs and stuff there, but I just feel like out of the good of their hearts, if they're that successful, that They don't need to have a bunch of ads, but that's the way of podcasting, and we do not have ads and probably won't anytime soon. So until we do, I will act honorably and say that there's too many ads in podcasts.
Yeah, that may change for us someday, but yeah, whoever produces it is paying them, I'm sure, and they have to justify paying them by putting ads in the show.
Yeah, but why do they need to be paid? That's my question. Are they like, hey, I need an extra $1,000 when I'm making, how much is Jason Bateman going to make for season 4 of Ozark? Millions of dollars.
Hey, never give away free something that you're good at, right?
Well, this is true. This is true. Well, we will move on to our monthly Microsoft Patch Tuesday update that fixed 60 days and 97 flaws.
All right, so I got my list here. I'm going to read down the list of, you do the 0 days, and I'll do the 97 flaws.
Yes,
so page
please.
1 of 12.
Yes. They fixed old CVE 2021-22947, the open source curl remote code execution vulnerability.
Nicely done.
Yes. But no, this is just a good reminder. Keep your devices updated because there are constantly security patches that need to be installed.
And speaking of ads, this segment is brought to you by One Backup is None Backup. You can't move forward unless you back up. Behold the power of backup.
Yes, nailed it.
I had to get it in there.
Yes. So go to onebackupisnonebackup.com and you can use the link there to go through our affiliate code and make us a couple pennies. So here we are. 10 or 30 seconds after I say, we don't have ads. I don't like podcasts with ads.
Yeah,
we go straight to an ad.
It's more of a joke than it is an ad.
Yes, this is true.
Like Garrison Keillor's Prairie Home Companion, all of his ads. Oh, I just love them so much. They're all for fake stuff. They're brilliant.
Yes. We do have a little Cryptowatch, and this has been developing over last couple weeks. I've seen it and decided to finally talk about it. Norton Antivirus, which you probably heard of, comes installed default on a lot of computers. A lot of people use it, and now has a crypto miner built into it. Now, we've talked in the past. There was like CoinHive and these different crypto miners where you can use your computer to get a little tiny smidge of some cryptocurrency. But this is actually built into Norton Antivirus, which antivirus softwares are already a huge pain. But now you can opt into
on your system.
Yes. So now they can be even more of a drain on your system if you opt into their crypto miner. Now, I did see that Avira, which is another antivirus, they've had this for a while. And I think kind of the idea is, hey, you've got Norton Antivirus. We're scanning your computer. And also when you're not using your computer and it's on, we'll run a little crypto miner. And I think they take a portion of it and you supposedly get some, but you're not going to get a lot of...
Is the application free then, since they're using your computer to mine? Or do you still have to pay them to mine crypto on your...
I think you still have to pay. I don't think they even have a full version.
So it's kind of like cable now, where you have to subscribe to channels that show you ads.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Which is just grand. And we've said this before, but I will touch on it briefly. Most people do not need antivirus on their computers. If you have a Windows computer, the built-in Microsoft Windows Security Essential, whatever they're calling it today, does a good job, especially because Microsoft makes it and they're invested in making things. And adding in these additional softwares, I have worked with so many people that have just had issues with this kind of stuff. And on a Mac, you really don't need anything. If you do have something, and I did this with somebody this past week, just a little pro tip. If you do have something weird going on your computer and you think maybe you installed something bad, go download Malwarebytes, and they have a free version, and you can run a scan, and it does a very good scan for malware or any software that shouldn't be on your computer. So that's what I would recommend to people is on Windows, use the default Microsoft stuff. On Mac, don't have anything. And then if something weird happens, go run a Malwarebytes scan.
Yep, and that's BYTES.
Yes, it is. And you know what else you should scan? Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
So, Nate, this is going to be a quickie but a goodie.
We've heard that before.
So you all remember the saga of Samsung's The Frame TV. Well, it's in a box ready to take back. I decided to take it back. Come on. To the untrained eye, it's fine. People can watch it. I just thought, for that money, I could be getting an OLED display that's like 1,000 times better. And anyway, it didn't check all the boxes for me. Enough of that. But one thing that I did think of while I was going through this saga of The Frame were all of the video interpolation and upscalers and frame rate converters and all the dynamic brightness and all this crap that TV manufacturers put on the outside of the box to entice consumers to buy their TV.
It's got more features.
Yeah, and all these features do, and I'm going to be honest with you, they just take good content and make it look like crap.
Yes, like it's not supposed to.
Yeah, what? I don't get it. So I struggle in trying to turn all this stuff off usually and find the right setting, and I'm adjusting stuff. And as I mentioned on the previous podcast when I discussed this, I spent upwards of 5 to 6 hours over a period of 2 days trying to tweak the settings and adjustments to make it so it didn't automatically go dim. And it was a nightmare. The tip this week is, if you have a modern TV, please, please, please seek out the game mode setting on your television. What game mode does is typically, not all the time, but typically will turn off all of that garbage that I just mentioned. It will set the TV to have the lowest latency so that there's not a delay between the content and when it comes to your screen. Because when you're playing video games, you don't want it to be processing all this, the pixels to make them brighter or whatever, because by the time it's done, you're going to be killed, right? So it just cuts all the latency out. Now, why would you want to set your TV on this? Well, my friends, if you have like an Apple TV or even just watching the built-in apps, it's going to give you the truest representation of what the content creator wants you to see. Now, game mode still might have upscalers, it might have some of that stuff, but for the most part, it turns all that stuff off. If you don't want to spend 5 hours tweaking your TV, just set it on game mode. And you may find that a lot of your programs that have been suffering from the soap opera effect of when they take like a 24 frame movie and upscale it to 120 frames, it looks terrible. It gets rid of that stuff.
Nice.
Now, also, as a kind of an additional tip, TV manufacturers have been putting in filmmaker mode. And this is a mode that's supposed to honor whatever frame rate, HDR settings, et cetera, that the filmmakers put into the film and display it like it was intended to. Well, I can tell you from my experience that when I turned filmmaker mode on Samsung's The Frame TV, it looked terrible. And it still did all the brightness and dimming and all that stuff. I don't know what they're doing. Of all the things I did, to get the closest to just regular was putting it in game mode. So if you at home are struggling with a new TV and trying to get the settings set right, flip it on game mode and don't even look back. Just leave it there. So,
and that is a great tip, because I've had my TCL TV for a year now at least. Maybe 2 years, and I have spent 0 hours configuring any picture stuff. So maybe I should go in there and just look for that game mode. So thank you for that. I will do that.
If it looks good to you, that's fine.
Yeah,
but if you're noticing weird stuff,
sometimes it might be a little off. I don't know what I'm missing, because my old TV was so old that it seems so much better, but it might be even better if I just take your simple tip. Well,
putting the smaller, many years older plasma TV that's 720p back in the place of the frame TV, I can tell you that one, it is smaller physically, because I could get a tape measure out and verify that. And I can also tell you that the quality is lower, but not as much as you might think. There is a law of diminishing returns. That the plasma TVs, the darks are not that great on them, but the color fidelity and the brightness are great. And they don't have any of that weird upsell stuff in there.
Yeah, that's true.
None of that's in there. And so when you plug in your Apple TV or whatever, it just looks good. So anyway.
Yes, we're going to all go back to vintage TVs now. I should have never given away my Vizio.
I know.
Well, let us move on to the takes of the week. This first one I saw floating around the interwebs this week. A Turkish farmer tests VR on cows to get more milk.
I saw this and clicked on the link, and wow, that picture there is me and that cow could be buddies with our little VR headsets on.
Yes, I think we've got our show art, and I will find a place to add you into this.
Thank you.
Yes, but yeah, so this Turkish farmer had the idea, hey, why not? Why not put the VR goggles? These VR headsets were claimed to help cows relax by offering them sun-filled views of green pastures so that the animals would be happier and produce more milk. So yeah.
I didn't read the article. Was it successful in the milk yields from these cows? Did they do a scientific test that says, yes, this absolutely works? Or is it just kind of a gimmick he's trying out?
Well, this guy says, according to Kokak, is his name, the cow's milk output has gone from 5 gallons to 7 gallons a day. So 2 more gallons per day by these VR headsets if you trust him. So
interesting.
Yeah, we might have found the future of farming with the VR headsets.
Well, with a name like Izzet Kokak, you can't go wrong.
Yes. You just trust the guy. I mean, you have no other option. Now, Dave, have you installed the Locket app on your phone yet?
I have not. What am I missing?
Yes, it's hit the top of the App Store. I don't know if it currently is. Oh, quick sidestep. Back to Cryptowatch. I usually read the Bitcoin prices at the end of our Cryptowatch stories. Bitcoin's not doing well, and I really don't even want to look at the price right now compared to what I purchased my pittance of Bitcoin at. But I
think it was at 43,000 the other day.
Yes, crypto prices are way back down again. So, as previously mentioned, don't invest more than you can afford to lose with cryptocurrency.
And don't take advice from us.
Yes, that most importantly. So anyways, back to Locket. So it is an app, now I haven't even tried it out, where 2 people, friends, partners, whatever the case may be, install the app, and then you can push things to the other person's phone. So like a little picture, and it uses on iOS the widget system, so you can have a widget on your home screen or your home screen. Yeah, so it was created by Matt Moss, a former Apple Worldwide Developer Conference Student Scholarship winner and recent UC Santa Barbara grad, who had been building a user research and testing platform called Hawkeye Labs.
So let me get this right. So me and my partner can link our phones together, and I can drop a phone in there, or a phone. I can drop a picture, a photo, was what I was trying to say, a little message or something like that. This sounds a lot like the text messaging app that's already built into my phone.
Oh, come on now.
What advantage is there to this?
Yes. Well, from Matt Moss himself, I built it as a present for my girlfriend for her birthday last summer. She was going back to school in the fall, so we were about to start a long-distance relationship. The process of getting a little photo from her on my home screen seemed really appealing. Just a nice way to stay in touch. So I guess the idea is it's kind of separate from text messages and all that get milk on your way home stuff. It's just a little widget on your home screen where you can have a nice little note or send something on there. So maybe we should try it out. Let's end it here. We will get Locket, and we will enjoy each other's company this week through the Locket app. I believe we talked about at some point Buy Nothing groups on Facebook, maybe not in a whole lot of detail on the podcast.
When I saw the article, I was like, oh yeah, I know what this is. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I know what this is. I thought it was kind of like just buy and sell groups, but this is a neighborhood type thing where it's like, I've got free stuff, I'll swap it for your free stuff or something like that.
Yeah, so Chelsea, my wife, she's active. I'm in a couple of them, but I'm not very active. She is very good. She's found some great stuff. She's been able to connect some of our stuff with other people. But yeah, the whole idea is Buy Nothing, that you have stuff around, and there's, they have rules and guidelines of what you can ask for. You can't just go on there and say, hey, I need $1 million. Can somebody give me $1 million? But you could say, hey, do you have any stress balls? Because I really need a stress ball. And then somebody says, oh, yeah, I've got one. Stop by, do a porch pickup. It's all yours.
Is it a barter at all, or is it just we're giving away stuff?
It's like just these ones are simply free. You're giving away something, or you can sometimes request for items. Well, anyways, they're trying to kind of move to an independent platform off of Facebook, which...
Wise.
Yes, it's wise, but I think it'll be very difficult because I would never go into a Buy Nothing app, but since I'm part of some of these groups, I see it in my Facebook feed. So I think it's going to be an uphill battle, but yes, moving away from Facebook is not the worst thing that you can do.
Well, I'm just thinking the bigger they get, the less control they're going to have over it. And tomorrow, Facebook could just shut them down. Not being dependent on another platform to do your platform is a very wise thing. Now, I will fully admit that Facebook is the best place to go if you want to get people to participate. Because like you said, people just come across that they're already on Facebook. But there's a large ask to get people to download an app, sign up for an account, just to do this thing that they may be a little bit leery of. But if you're on Facebook and all you have to do is click join group, that's a very small ask for those people. So hopefully they have a large enough following that they can just take that group and move into this other app. Kind of like what you were saying about podcasts. It sure is easy to have a large audience being a podcaster if you're already somebody who's famous. Same idea. If you've already got 1 million users, it's pretty easy to take most of those millions over to another platform.
Yes, and provide value there. It does look like there's about 7,000 groups, and they do kind of have an overarching, because, you've got Facebook groups for everything under the sun, but they do try to have some policies and work together so that they find out that something that works in New York, they're like, hey, Oregon groups, you should be checking this out too, or do it this way, just to kind of make it all work better. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Buy Nothing, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out, and you can see results may vary, but it is a great way to, instead of just throwing stuff in the landfill or going out and buy something new when somebody else has it sitting around, it's a good way to just utilize things to their best ability. And I know I probably have many things in my home that I should put on Buy Nothing and see if anybody needs them.
Now, who are these people? Like, who is they? If it's people strung out all across, who owns this concept? Could you and I just make an app and say we're the Buy Nothing app?
Well, you probably could. I don't know if they have any trademarks or anything. I'm guessing they must have some sort of overarching consortium or something, the Buy Nothing Project. So I don't know if there's a committee or the platform allowed Buy Nothing groups to spread across the globe and easily connect neighbors with surplus goods. But yeah, the Buy Nothing Project. Oh, here we go. To solve these problems, the Buy Nothing Project launched a mobile app of their own. Project co-founders Liesl Clark, Rebecca Rockefeller, and new business partners Tunji Williams and Lucas Ricks. They formed a public benefit corporation, ShareThing, in 2021 and raised money to fund the app's development. So this is the group that are moving it to the app side. So,
well, with a name like Rockefeller, you probably don't need any investors in there.
Yes.
So I think we should make a copycat group called the Don't Buy Not Nothing.
Oh, there you go. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, rolls right off the tongue, and then we'll print money.
Yes.
Whatever. you figure out the steps in between.
Yes. Change last name to Rockefeller and print money.
Yes.
Well, this next story actually would help us print the money. This I saw in Schneier on Security, and the genius of those looking to rip others off. The city of Austin is warning about QR codes stuck to parking meters that take people to fraudulent payment sites.
Who could have predicted this from happening?
Yes.
Sheesh.
You go into the city, you pull into a parking spot, you go up to the parking meter, there's a little sticker with a QR code, you go, oh, I scan this to pay, takes you somewhere else, takes your money, and you didn't get you pay for your parking. So, yeah, this is a very easy scam, and it's going to be tough. I know in Portland they have, what is it, Pay Kitty or something? It's some silly name of the app that you use for all parking now. You can just do it through an app, so you don't have to use the parking meters as much.
Yeah.
But
See, that's the thing, that if the city or government doesn't create a methodology for people to use their mobile phone to do this, then some scammer's going to.
Yes.
So I think most municipalities probably have their own app now so that they don't get scammed.
And it does say in the comments that they updated Austin's transportation department with a statement saying never use a QR code to pay to park on Austin city streets. Use the Park ATX app or pay directly at a pay station. But if there's no QR codes, and you don't know that you're not supposed to use a QR code, and you see a QR code, you're like, hey, QR codes are everywhere now. I'm going to pay for this. So, lovely little story. But that's why we go into our bonus odd take. And this is one of those random collections on the internet. It is found at binocularshot.tumblr.com.
So I click this link, and I'm just like, what in the world is this? And it is literally what you just said.
Yes, a tribute to movies with inaccurate binocular shots, curated from afar by Javier. So what they've done is, and you start going through and you recognize the issue that in movies, when somebody's looking through binoculars and they cut to the binoculars, it'll often be like two overlapping circles, like that's what you would actually see through binoculars. But that's not what you see through binoculars. You see a single image if your eyes line up correctly and you have a decent pair of binoculars. But it is a very common movie trope as noted in this collection. But yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting just to see something that you wouldn't really think of twice in a movie until you saw this site and you go, oh yeah, they're doing it all wrong.
But however, I will say that this movie trope is a mechanism to help the viewer know what's going on.
Yes.
There are all kinds of other things in movies. This is one example, but it's incredible that somebody has taken their time to isolate these things in movies and put the clips on a website.
Yes.
And, one that I clicked on, which is a notable movie. If you haven't seen it yet, Zombieland, Double Tap, is pretty good. So check it out.
Very nice. And today, just because we had so many fun stories, I had to keep it going with a bonus odd take.
Wow.
That came out this last week, at least when I saw it. Astronaut Scott Kelly arranged to have a gorilla suit sent up to him during his year spent on the International Space Station. One day, near the end of the mission in 2016, he put it on, stood away in a large storage container, and then escaped and went on a rampage, chasing people around the International Space Station in a gorilla suit.
It looks like a good way to break something.
Yes.
If you look at the pictures, they've got cables and wires and experiments
so much
hanging
stuff
off the walls.
And he's just zooming through there. But yeah, he completely, nobody knew that he did this. So it was a complete surprise, which if I was on the International Space Station and all of a sudden a gorilla started chasing me, I don't know how I think I might just implode.
Your brain wouldn't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
Everything is so
controlled. And I was telling my dad about this story earlier, and I was saying how he even snuck it up there. The amount of precision and control and weights and inventory and all of the logistics that go to getting something onto the International Space Station.
It probably cost $10,000, no lie, to get it up there.
Yes, and taxpayer dollars. So...
yeah, but it's kind of funny.
Yes, it is something definitely different. Definitely an odd take. But not an odd take is our picks of the week.
I'm just going to go simple this week. It's not a $1,000 TV. It's not a...
What?
I don't even know what I did last week. Was the TV last week? I'm getting all my weeks messed up.
Yes, the TV was last week.
Yeah. Okay, so regardless, today I have something here I'll show you, Nate. What am I showing you here?
I see an Apple Watch with a very pretty leatherish watch band on it.
Well, I don't do leatherish, my friend. This is a genuine leather.
Leather? Oh.
No, genuine leather, it says. It says it right there.
Oh, yeah. And it's even all the right letters and everything.
Yeah. So I think they've taken the very top thousandth of a millimeter layer of leather and have glued it onto a band.
Yeah.
Just so they can say it's genuine leather. I mean, I trust that it is. It feels like genuine leather. Anyway, I bought a band for my watch. I decided, you know what, that holy Nike one that came with the thing, as nice as it is and as comfortable, and in the summer, how nice it is that your wrist doesn't sweat. I thought, I'm going to dress this watch up a little bit. So Nate, what would you pay for a genuine leather band for the larger of the Apple Watch sizes?
I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say $27.99 for a leather Apple Watch band.
Yeah. So now I'm starting to debate in my mind whether this is actually genuine leather.
Oh, don't take my pricing on leather as any sort of authority.
Well, it comes in, and the reason I'm sharing it is to let you know that you don't have to pay a lot of money to have luxurious looking watch bands. This cost me $8.49.
Wow.
And I've had another leather band in the past that I used it for like 1 or 2 years, and it was trashed by the time I was done with it. But it only cost me like $10 or $15 or whatever. So I thought, man, for $8.49, and it comes in all kinds of colors. I got the brown silver, which refers to the hardware. It's got the silver hardware on it, and the brown band. But you can get, I was tempted. They've got this like alligator skin textured orange one. Let's see what else they have here. A pure black with like rose gold hardware on it to match maybe your rose gold watch. Black, other kinds of browns, blues, whatever you can think of. And they have it for the smaller watch face size and then the larger watch face size. So anyway, this is a Marge Plus compatible with Apple Watch Band Series SE7 654321. It goes through a bunch of sizes, genuine leather, replacement band for, and it's quality when they say iWatch. It's an iWatch.
Yes.
Not an Apple Watch.
Yes. Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Yes.
And get one of those.
It was Prime 1 day free shipping.
Wow.
I ordered it. The next day it was on my doorstep.
That's great. And the thing is, at that price, much like we talk about with iPhone cases, at that price, if it lasts you a couple months, then you spend another $9 and you get a different color, or you get a couple different colors instead of what would Apple charge for a leather band? $60, $70?
$70, $80. Yes, terrible.
And it did look like just a pretty standard traditional watch band with a loop and buckle type.
Yep. It's got white stitching or cream stitching through it. It looks very sharp. I mean,
very nice. I am impressed. Very cool. Well, my pick of the week, I actually teased this when we were talking about Christmas presents, but I got a chance to try it out this last week, and this was a gift from my wife, so hopefully, maybe ask her nicely, she'll buy you one too. This is the Presto 02937 Dorothy Electric Rapid Cold Brewer. Cold brew at home in 15 minutes. No more waiting 12 to 24 hours.
Did I have to wait before?
For cold brew.
Can't you just leave it on the calendar or the counter and leave it on the counter and it just gets tepid?
Tepid, yes. We've discussed this before. There
I know.
is differences to the taste of cold brew, but typically I use a large pitcher, which I did as a pick of the week a ways back, and you pour it in and you put it in the fridge, and then by the next morning it's ready to go, and I have a couple days worth of coffee. Well, this one I'm going to send you a picture, Dave, just so you can get an idea of kind of what's going on here. But I told Isla, my daughter, the other night, I said, Isla, do you want to do a science experiment? Because I realized what this thing actually does. And what it does, there's a little base with a very simple knob on it, and then there's a little coffee pitcher. Well, you follow the instructions, you put this little insert into the coffee pitcher, you plug in and turn on the device. And the reason why it's called the Dorothy is maybe you've heard of a movie called The Wizard of Oz, and it has a tornado function. So
it's
actually
very on brand for me because I'm from Kansas.
Yes. So it spins the water, then you pour in the coffee, and you can let it go for different lengths depending on how strong you want it. But in 20 minutes, I had delicious cold brew coffee using my Dorothy Rapid Cold Brew.
So does it? It's by Presto. I don't know if I mentioned that. So does it cool the drink as well?
So that is one difference. So when I make mine in the fridge in the pitcher, it naturally cools it over time. This, you use cold water, but then when it's done, it's not. It is not chilling it. So you would definitely want to add ice. Whereas the stuff I take out of the fridge, I don't really need ice because it's already pretty cold. So, but most people will put some ice in their cold brew or their little coffee drinks, anyways.
So in the picture, they have wadded up paper towels in with the coffee. What is all that about?
Oh, it looks like they use some heavy cream.
Oh, that's cream in there. It's not fully mixed.
Yes, and I'll send you another picture of the tornado action, but my daughter got a kick out of it. It's really a really cool device. Then once it's done, there's a plunger that presses all the grounds down, and then you pour your coffee into the bottom. So
would this work with instant coffee? Could you just use instant coffee?
You probably could, and then it would just dissolve in there, and then it'd be very good for mixing things. Maybe I'll have to experiment on mixing some different things. I actually think I have some. Oh, you know what? A bonus pick. I have some from Trader Joe's. I was there one day and they had instant cold brew coffee, like a jar of it, that looks very much like your Sanka or whatever you might use for instant coffee. But
My
I will
head's
try
gonna
that.
explode.
Yeah.
So you just add cold water to the cold brew coffee to make cold brew coffee when you could just add regular instant coffee. Maybe it has
cold. But the difference in the brewing, the lack of the bitterness.
I don't know.
I could see with this.
I think
Dorothy
this is
one.
snake oil.
Snake oil.
This is snake oil.
Yes.
What is going on?
I did tell Chelsea after I made it with this, I could see this being a part of someone who takes their coffee very seriously, where you would get your coffee beans, you would ground them, you would instantly make your instant cold brew to, have the freshest possible coffee. But for me, it's all about having something that kind of tastes like coffee that has caffeine in it. That's what's important to me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Nate, you're already not a coffee connoisseur if it's not hot. If you're drinking it cold, my friend.
Oh, contraire, mon frere.
Man, we need to have a fight.
We're going to do a special coffee episode. We'll do some blind tasting and some various, we'll bring some people. We'll get Mike Peterson to come down. He can do his special coffee process he does every day. Now, Dave, I feel like you don't want to buy this, but with 4 stars on over 2,000 ratings, what do you think one might pay for the Presto Dorothy trademarked electric rapid cold brewer?
This is $29.94.
Oh, see, you're way underestimating the technology here.
Oh, it's
$49.99.
Oh, it's $29.99?
$49.99.
Oh, $49.
Yes, regularly $70. So you're gonna have to. I will come to your house, stand on your front porch, make cold brew, and convince you some morning how amazing this is.
You won't convince me to buy something for $50 that I could use a spoon and get the same effect.
Not as rapidly.
I just need to be educated. That's the problem.
Yes.
That is ignorant. I'm ignorant.
After 6 years of doing the podcast, if there's one thing we all know, it's that you just need to be educated, Dave.
that are true.
Yes. Well, with that, we should really wrap up this episode. It was a fun one. A bunch of different stories, some water cooler stories that are fun to tell people about at the non-existent water cooler these days. Thanks for listening. Now you can get out there and tech better.
And Nate, I think your thing is hitting your mustache.
There you go. We'll go for the ear tuck.
Mute.
Mute. See, mine does the whole system audio.
You said mute the whole time. It never stopped.
Mute. Just keeps going.
It still didn't do anything.
Wrong button. Mute.
Yeah. I love the thing I came up with. Mute.
It's good we're recording. Mute. So when you were hearing the word mute, it's not muted, and then when it's muted, you're not hearing the word mute.
We should run the country.
We should.